to a YouTube channel near you.
Hello, everybody. Surprise, Grizzly's not here. You stuck with me. So we'll get some hellos out of the way. Angela, how you doing?
Doing great. And of course, I finished the painting I was showing the last time I was here, so this
Ooh,
is done.
that
And
is stunning.
that is direct message from my guides, and the theme is about ego death. And when we go through deaths of the ego, we build things up, and things knock us down, and they keep knocking. And every time we become more compassionate, and it builds character. Right? And then eventually, there's just the light that shines through. Right? We get fire and ice type of destruction that happens. Our shell's broken or report out a bit, but we make it and we become lights, and this is what this is about. I finished that one up, and of course I just started a new one this weekend as well, and looking forward to that. I did have a spirit animal show up to me in a dream, then actually showed up on camera, and then talked to me through an obelisk right after that. Quite amazing.
That picture blows me away. That's stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. And
I guess we should say hi to everybody, right? Sorry, folks, you're gonna have to put up with me. I'm living on NyQuil and cold medicine, so we're here. Angela's the most important part anyway. I'm just here to push buttons. But Curtis is here. Joanne. Chris, barely surviving this Uranus and Gemini. Okay, I'm clueless. What's that? Is that a good thing or bad thing?
I must be talking about an astrological alignment.
Yeah, that's the only. I hope that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, so that's. I'm not much into astrology. I do know that last night we had one of the darkest night in years, and so it was a good night to go stargazing. We could see satellites going overhead, and could pick out all the constellations and watch the stars. It was really something unique. When you have a really, really dark night, you don't have that light pollution, nor the natural light of the moon. It's a really great time to see the stars, and also
It's funny you say that because I had somebody tell me today, and she might be watching. Maybe she'll sound in. Uh, but somebody told me that they were out just enjoying, because they kind of live out in the country a little bit, enjoying the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And the stars were a little bit brighter because of the fact that you didn't have the other light from the moon coming off it. One that just looked abnormally bright. Figure out what was going on, and then she saw it start to move. And she thought, okay, maybe it's a plane or a satellite. And it blinked. She thought, well, that was kind of odd. And when it came back, there were three of them. And they were kind of moving a little bit, and she actually went in and the power to her electric dog fence
Mm-hmm.
alarm went off. The fence shut off. Or no, I got to put this in order. So she's watched, a bunch of the UFO stuff. So she went in on YouTube, and apparently there's a certain frequency you can play that's supposed to attract that kind of activity. And she went in and started playing it, and instead of just a normal blinking, it blinked like 3 quick times.
Wow.
And then the power to her dog underwater or underground dog fence went off.
Wow.
And um, and then after that, after the quick blinks, it just disappeared.
Wow.
It was, when you mentioned it, maybe she'll sound in if I told it wrong, but she was going to watch tonight because I told her tonight would be a good show with you because you're always. I love your Grizzly shows.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dow, Kathy,
Yes.
Nilda, how we doing?
And now Chris has
The
got questions already.
All right, let's scroll down here.
Do I have much karma left to work through? Let's see what the runes have to say on that. See about, let's see, does Chris have much karma left to work through? Let's take a look here. So just doing a reading for you, Chris, using the runes. Okay, so this is EWAS, this is journey, this is travel. So you're still on this journey of karma, but I see that you're nearing completion. So you're nearing completion, and then you're nearing the reward for your work that you've been doing on your karma as well. So you're getting near the end. And the last rune I put is Feiyu. So Feiyu being money, blessing, prosperity. So you're getting near the end of your fulfillment of your karma. So now you'll start seeing blessings coming through. So you're doing good.
Yeah, and if anybody's expecting backup for that, you're not going to get it from me. I'm empath. I am not psychic. I have no second opinion like Grizzly will. So Angela's the authority for sure.
Oh, thank you,
speaking of
Down
authority.
Down.
So yeah, so if anybody wants a reading, make sure you pop up, put your name up, questions, everything like that.
Sure. Any of the questions too about the paranormal, and questions about the paranormal, spirit world, anything like that, phenomena, you're welcome to ask. Okay, so Neil de Gonzalez, what should I be working on for the month of September? That's a good question. Let's see what the runes have to say. Okay, so the three runes I got here, it looks like it's working with shadow work, because I actually pulled this in reverse. I pulled it this way. This is Berkana, this is protection, but it represents the female, the sign, the feminine god, the goddess of protection, fertility, things like that. But this was reversed, indicating that you need to work on your dark side of yourself, your shadow self, and delving into that and doing that work on your negative aspects of you and embracing that and working through that. The next rune I got is Nadis. So Nadis, I had this also reversed. So Nadis is the rune of need, emergency. It can also be love. It could also be tightness. I feel constriction with this. This rune is making me feel like there's some sort of stranglehold here. It's as if I'm being told that you're hanging on to some things that are just too tightly, that aren't any good for you, and as part of your growth, you need to start letting that go. And the final rune, though, I got is Runyo. This is the rune of happy endings, joy, completion, fresh start. So once you get through this shadow work and start your learning to let things go that you were afraid to let go, then you're going to be arriving at that completion stage that feels free, you feel happiness, you get a fresh start. So it's going to feel very good once you get through all that work.
All right. Nilda, make sure you let us know if that registers, because since Angela read me last time, everything has happened. She talked about me going through some stuff, but getting through the stuff, and then opportunities opening up, and I am getting really busy. So,
yeah, it's
Chris,
nice.
that's reassuring. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And I walked around Gibson Farm near Suffolk, where I live, and there is a Bigfoot sighting that happens. They get a lot of Bigfoot sightings over there at this particular campground, and there's also McCleary Cemetery, which I go over there and I get responses off of the spirit boxes there. And I also had some images come through. There is a program, an app on your phone called Ghost to Seer, and it works like a spirit box, but instead of working with radio signals, it's working with images. And so it allows spirits to generate images through the AI. And I had some remarkable responses as I was walking. I was walking down towards the cemetery kind of fast, and I heard this woman come through. Hey, slow down! You're going too fast. I walked in the cemetery, and I had asked this fella, and he actually a person who passed away recently. He was born in 1983. It's a recent burial there, and this is an older cemetery. We didn't expect to have new burials there. And I discovered one, and I don't want to reveal his name or anything like that for them to protect the family since this is a recent burial. And he came through the spirit box very clearly, and he said, "I'm here," and I asked him for his last name. He verified, yes, that's my surname. I'm here, and I said, "Well, how do you feel now?" And he said, "I'm free." And before I left, I said, "Is there anything that you want to say?" And I turned the spirit box off, and I just had an EVP recorder going. I wasn't expected to pick up everything because you have the locusts, the crickets,
Yeah.
a lot of bird sounds towards evening, and a lot of insect noise. And I thought, I'm not going to get anything. But at the McCleary Cemetery, and I was just about to walk back, and I just stopped and I listened and said, "Is there anything that anybody here that who has a monument memorializing them? Is there anything you want to say?" And I had a male voice say, "I still love you." And that was incredible.
Holy crap.
Amazing to hear it over. I didn't hear it in real time. I heard it on the playback, on the recording, and an image came through of a man and probably dressed early 1900s with a bowler hat and walking towards me and on the app. So that was interesting. And they also said, "I love you," and they recognized me because I've been going there since I've been a small child at the McCleary Cemetery, so they know me there.
I was going to ask if you think that was directed toward you or maybe one of your past lives.
I think it's more directed towards. I just got the impression this was more of a message of love never dies. They still have that connection with their families. And yes, they do say "I love." Sometimes they do mean it towards me because I'm there to listen. I'm not there to, you know, just to get a response. I'm there to listen. And like, if you have anything to say, and anybody here who's been memorialized in these monuments, and you want to come and just talk and have a conversation, you're welcome to talk, and I'll be more than happy to listen. And I get amazing responses that way. Before I go to any of the cemeteries, before I'm going to any paranormal investigation, whether it's I'm going to a cemetery, whether I'm going to a location, and just say out loud, whether you're in your car or during the day, and just say, I'm announcing to the spirit world that I'm going to this location, and all the spirits and all the souls that want to talk to me, you can meet me there, and we'll have a conversation. And you're more than happy to talk about. We'll just talk as friends, and you'd be amazed how the spirits would reply to that, because these are just people without bodies, and they like for somebody to listen, especially if it's an older cemetery, right? And people may not come around so much, and they'd like to have somebody listen to them.
Yeah, instead of like some of these so-called teams that make them want them do circus tricks.
Yes,
Just to get
exactly. Exactly. I wouldn't do that with my friends. If you're not going to do that to your, you wouldn't do that to your friends, do it to them. Right?
Yeah.
Don't do it to your spirit friends, because they are people without the bodies, and that's all. They're still people.
Yeah, so it looks like Dal is looking for a general reading, please.
Okay, Tal. I've got a general reading for you from the room, so let's see what we got here. What do we have for Dal? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this is Yara. This represents 1 year. This is harvest. But I keep seeing you're struggling to reap a harvest. The image that I got in my head was like you were in a field and you were trying so hard to get stuff to grow, and you can't figure out why. Why is this not happening for me? Um, what I'm getting from yours is that this has been like your harvest is just being held back. The next rune I got, this is Burkanos, but I had it again in reverse. This is the divine. This is the divine feminine force. This is the protecting force of the divine mother. I'm getting a sense I feel like there's a lack of nurturing there. Um, it feels like to me that you feel abandoned. You feel like you didn't get enough nurturing, and that wounds does still need to be healed and worked on. But the next rune I got is Dagon. So Dagon's just a rune of light, balance, enlightenment, clarity. Um, so what I'm getting off of this, it feels like you still have some work to do as on yourself when it comes to psychologically, in regards to nurturing or a lack of nurturing. And your whole that's what your whole lesson seems to be about is nurturing. You're trying to create these goals, try to get growth in your life, and then nothing seems to be springing up or manifesting for you. And I'm getting the impression being told that you need to do a lot of spiritual work, that this is a spiritual issue, and this is why you're not getting the manifestation that you're looking for. So you should be, one thing you can do, and this is just what I do. What I do, if I need to do something, if it's a spiritual issue, I will meditate, and I will close my eyes, and then I'll just clear my mind completely, no thoughts, and then I'll say a prayer. I'll say the creator, the one who created everything, the source of all light, love, and peace. Show me what I need to learn. Help me to get to where you need me to be to prosper me, because I know you would not be holding this back from me unless you had a reason for it. Show me the reason. Help me to work through it. Help me to be the person you make me to be. And just ask them to show you. And that they come and just look. You make it a feeling, you make it an impression, and you might have images just come into your mind. Write those down, write down those impressions, look for those in your dreams, look for signs, ask for those signs, because you need direction for that. So this is all has to do with tying in with nurturing.
Awesome. I just want to say, Joanne, you're on the list. And Michelle, we got you next in line. Crafty.
Crafty. Okay, crafty.
Yeah, it should be interesting with a name like that.
All right, crafty. And for some reason, I kept seeing a spirit animal with you as well. Um, and it looks like it's a small canid. So that looked like to me it was a fox to me, but it looks like a gray fox. So the first rune I got for you, crafty, is Feyu. So this is money. And I feel like you're in a stable financial position. Usually when I get this, that usually means you get more income in so that you have a little bit of disposable income. But I do feel like there is, you have the perception of money and where it actually is, what's your actual financial status is a little bit of a disconnect. You may have more resources than what you think if you just sit down and just look at everything. The next rune I got is Ansus. So Ansus is wisdom, and I'm being told, listen to your spirit guide, listen to your spirit guide. In this case, it's a spirit animal that's coming forward, and I keep seeing this animal come forward, and I see the eyes. This looks like a fox. Yeah, it's a fox, but he also has another animal with him in the background. I'm looking at the animals. So the first one I see is a fox. A gray fox is in the foreground. In the background, I'm looking, and it looks like a coyote. So you have these two animals working together as spirit guides. So the foxes and the coyote are both associated with um, living by your wits, adapting to certain situations and having that flexibility to adapt. They call them shape shifting, but they have a lot of mythology around that, and they call coyotes specifically the tricksters. Coyotes will even self-medicate, right? They'll go and find herbs in the woods with certain plants for certain remedies for certain conditions. So coyotes know how to use plants for medicine, if you know that, believe it or not. And they're at home in the urban environment just as well in the wilderness. And so they actually have a culture that they pass down. So it's very interesting that you do have these two animals coming in together as spirit guides, and you're saying listen to them. So and when I see the intensity of the eyes, they are trying to get your attention. So please ask for the signs from your spirit animals. Ask them to communicate through your dreams or whatever means at their disposal they feel like they would like to communicate. Because they do have a lot of wisdom to pass down to you. And they said they're telling me that now it's a time to doing things in secret and to keep things hidden, right? So whatever your plans are, keep them hidden. And the final rune I got is Manas, but this is also the rainbow bridge that connects the physical material world with the spirit world. And what I'm feeling like, I'm being told you're going to be taking a leap into exploring the spirit world, but it's more through the shadow, more through the sort of like when you have dreams, and sometimes your dreams are just dark, like there isn't any light, or they take place at night. It's going to be under those conditions in which you make that connection and the mystery and the mystery of the darkness. So that's what this reading is about. So pay attention to fox and coyote and meditate on them, and visualize meeting them, and you can let them learn more about them and ask for signs from them.
All right. So
Crafty's been herbalizing lately, so
enjoying the nightlife, maybe. Nelda did comment. Thank you. It does make sense. So for the reading you did.
Wonderful.
Next up, Holly. I know Holly. Can I get a general reading, please?
Okay, Holly. And I had runes popped out all over the place, but there are 1, 2, and this time there's 4 runes that popped out for you. First rune I got is Ansus. So Ansus is a rune of speaking wisdom, but I feel like more like channeling. I feel like there's some spirit guide that's with you that likes to speak through you a lot. And you just get this feeling comes over you, and you just start talking, and you don't know where it comes from. And it's actually a spirit guide that's with you, and it's a male who's with you. I see as a tall man. And I get the impression he's assigned to you. He's assigned for you from heaven, but I see a different type of clothing, like he goes maybe further back in time. I was looking at see if he will show himself. So he seems to be from the late medieval period, is what the impression I'm getting based on the clothing that I'm seeing. So you might want to look more towards the Renaissance. It's probably from the era that he's more closely associated with. He's very witty. I see him in a big hat, and he likes to make little witty comments. He likes it, and he's doing it for you. But he's there to help. He's there to open your mind, and particularly, I feel like he's trying to guide you on an adventure. It's like an adventure that takes up all the space as far as mental, spiritual, physical material. It's that kind of encompassing adventure. The next rune I got is Nadi. So Nadi is the rune of emergency. It's also a rune of tightness around the neck, tightness around the chest rather, pressure, but it can also be love and protection. What I'm keep seeing like protection, like you're trying to put spiritual protection around you. It's something that you've been working on. It seems like you go to like the moon or some sort of, I keep seeing moonlight with this. A need for protection, and it feels like I'm being told like to access your feminine connection, like the feminine side of the spirit world, to get make this divine connection, because it feels like that's what you're needing. Like you're seeking protection, and you need this and you're going to feel most empowered by connecting with the divine feminine. So the spiritual aspect of unique female coming through the feminine energies. And the next rune, of course, speaking of feminine energies, this is Berkana, represents the divine mother, right? The mother goddess, and fertility. Also, the like the pine tree, the evergreen, things like that. I'm getting the connection of evergrowth, and it feels like you're trying to connect with the vein of all life through nature, and getting out in nature more, and successfully. And particularly, I'm getting told to be drawn to pine trees and birch trees. Uh, and the next rune, Wunyo. So Wunyo is the, okay, I tried to turn it in a way that you're supposed to be able to see it, but can't flip it the right way for this. But Wunyo is it kind of looks like a P, but it's a weather vane flying high. That means everything is good, everything is wonderful. So the overall reading of this rune wrist, you have this male who's a spirit guide from the Renaissance period. He feels more upper class, and he is very witty, he's very intellectual, he's trying to help you there. But tap into your feminine energy, the feminine side of the spirit world, and also with the trees as well, like getting out there, understanding the spiritual significance of certain trees, especially pine trees and birch trees. And also, once you get through with that, you learn to connect with the female's energy, connecting with nature. It's going to be such an incredible joy to experience. Absolutely. So that's your
Yeah.
general reading.
So Holly and I work together, so I had some insight as to how, just some insight on how close that is. So I can't wait to see Holly's response. Nelda commented, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm finally getting away and know there's a reason for it. Yes, we've been through some stuff. It's time to let go.
Mm-hmm. Now, Holly says that's amazing.
Yeah.
The amount of imagery
If I could, her sense of humor is just no filter, and I love it.
Well, that's your spirit guide. But you can fight that late Renaissance guy, spirit guide.
Oh yeah, she's got a humor beyond her years, that's for sure.
Oh, you're welcome, Crafty. And
Michelle,
Michelle.
ask if
Okay.
there's time for a read, please.
Michelle Wilfong. Okay, okay. General reading for Michelle. See what the runes have to say. First rune I got is mana. So this is mankind, intellect, humanity, but it's also the bridge that connects the spirit to the physical. And what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing and I'm feeling. First thing I felt was pressure on my chest. Like I feel like you're under a lot of pressure. But I also feel like you're human focused, and I feel a lot of head pain as well. Like I got a lot of pressure on my head. It feels like you are working with people, and this is what I'm getting. It's like you're burned down on humanity. That's the impression I'm getting off of this. It's like you're burned out. It's like I know my center of focus. I'm here to help people. I want to help mankind, but you know what? I am burned out on this. That's the impression I'm getting. The next rune I got is Helgelas. So Helgelas is the rune of transformation. This is the Hellstone. It's also the destruction. What I'm getting off this rune is like a transformation is needed here. So you have to kind of turn things around. I'm being told to step away, and just look at the big picture and let yourself go through a transformation. Understand that you're on a way in the transformation and this is being done. You may feel burned out right now, but a major transformation is in your hands here. So Helgelas being the runestone, I'm being told that you need to take matters in your own hands to make this work, right? So you have to work on you to address the burnout. Focus on you. Focus on taking care of yourself in the spirit world. So you can actually use this rune and ask for this rune's help. And this each rune, it has a name, Helgelas, and you can say that rune. Imagine it in the H form, like on your person. You can imagine it with you, and just talk to the rune like you are a person, and like, I need your help with healing from my past. I need to make the transformation. I need your protection. I need your help. I need your guidance for this. Help me through this. And then the rune will lend its energy to you because you called for it, and will help you through that. Because one of the gifts that Helgelas does is help heal from the past. So you have all this burnout, which is from accumulation from past that's been building up. And then Helgelas, the energy of Helgelas as a rune, helps heal from that. So the final rune I got from you is, this is Gabo. So Gabo is the rune of a gift. This is also, you see the balance, there's gratitude here. I'm getting the impression of gratitude. Because you trust that this transformation happened. You ask for it, you ask for the transformation, you're willing to do the work in, and then at the end, you're so much better, you feel like a new person, and you're grateful. And Michelle's like, Michelle's saying this exactly, stepped away, accept the things that you cannot change. Yeah, and you spread yourself too thin, and you need balance and renewal. Yes, exactly. And you can actually ask your spirit guides, you can ask heaven to help. They send help. Send in the whole staff of people if you need to help me out. Staff of angels, guides. I like working with Helgelas because it is such a powerful rune. Like, what I've done too is I inscribed it on the candle and just light the candle and just announce my intentions, what I need, and like one of those little tea light candles, and let it burn down and let it do its thing, and it's amazing. You start seeing changes right away. You feel its presence, and it's powerful. Okay, you're welcome, Michelle. And Joanne Stewart. Okay, Joanne Storm, let's see what reading we have for you. So Joanne, this is Sowilo. This is a non-invertible rune. This is the lightning stroke. This is the lightning strike, I should say. The sun, usually when I draw that, it means success. And I actually see the sun, like I see the sun shining on your face. And it's like you're highly favored. The next rune I have for you is Othala. So Othala, this is again another goddess rune, and this is the rune of royalty, DNA, family, wealth, inheritance. What I'm getting off of this is honor, like royalty. I feel like you're being honored in the spirit world. It's like you're seen as royalty in the spirit world for sure. So you have a lot of blessings, and you can ask for that. Now that you have this honor in the spirit world, ask them to manifest the blessings that they would like for you to have. The next rune, final rune I got here, Berkana. Berkana's been coming up a lot in this, and I actually got it the right way when it came up. So Berkana is the mother goddess, or the divine feminine, and you can imagine sort of like Mary, the mother of Jesus, and similar concept, and but very maternal and very nurturing. So you can ask, I'm being told to let you know that you can ask through the spirit world to send all this nurturing support that you need in female empowerment, especially from the divine feminine. That's coming up again and again. I keep seeing that synchronicity of the feminine coming through. It's like we don't, if you need a strong society, you need a strong humanity, you need strong women. And women need supported, and women's souls need supported.
All right. If we have time, till October and November, we'll be very busy, but I have no clue how. Any idea what's coming up, please and thanks.
Sure. Okay, Chris, let's see what's coming up. Okay. The first rune I drew was blank. So that just means you have a question that you've been bouncing around in your head for quite some time. Okay, so the next one I got is Kenya's, then I got I was, and then T was. And T was is a very masculine energy. So with Kenya, so this is divine guidance, this is intuition, this is light, wisdom. And I'm being told from this, what's coming up for you? It feels like there's a lot of advice coming you all at once. It's like you don't know what direction to go in because it's getting piled on. You're like, what do I do next? And this rune is saying you'll know. Just follow your intuition on this one. And the next rune I got being I was. So I was is death, regeneration, communication. I'm being told make your intentions known, make your communication simple and clear and direct. Because this has to do with a lot of communication going back and forth. The next rune I got is T was. So T was is the rune of oath, promise, victory, of a single goal if you're trying to reach it. It's Odin's spear. And I'm feeling the sense of victory. At first it's going to be very chaotic because there's so many people telling you to do a lot of different things, but go with your intuition and what's right for you. Make your direction and communications clear, and in the end, you feel empowered, you feel victorious. So that is your general reading there, Chris, for about October. Oh, well, thank you, Michelle. I don't know why they chose me over there, but they chose me. And I just I like teaching and doing this in a way. Doing these readings are kind of me teaching you, and it's the spirit teaching you how to reach out and use the spiritual gifts that you've been given too, and how to communicate with spirit and how to be open to that and let that be integrated into your life, because it's very powerful. And I am not able to hear you.
Sorry. I'm muted for coughing. Daily Dose. I would love a general reading if you have time.
Absolutely. I'd love to give you general readings. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. All right, and I'm doing a general reading, so let's see, of the Daily Dose. So this rune popped out of the bag, jumped out of the bag. This is Wunyo. This is fresh start, new beginnings, everything's going well. And this rune is telling me that this is in the sense, it's kind of a head in the clouds sort of sense. It's like, I'm not saying that you live in fantasy, but you have you're very much in tune for what is idealized for you. And mentally, you're a very visual person. You like to visualize beautiful things in a beautiful world for yourself, and that you're working on that visualization. But this rune is telling me, yeah, that's all fine and good, but we need to also work to try to bring a little bit into this world so it could become even more real for you. For example, because I kept seeing beach imagery, you see cloud sky and beach imagery. If the beach is something that you like, maybe you can have some seashells around, just simply to connect with that, right? So you're trying, in a way, what you're doing, what this rune is telling me, is what you're starting to make what you want become real, and just building it a little bit at a time, okay? And eventually it's going to manifest fully. The next rune I got is Isa. So Isa is the rune of ice. We actually get the word ice from this rune. And this rune is telling me to be still and be patient and to focus on your inner world, right? You're building this like inner sanctuary for yourself, and to work with that, learn from it, and then try to externalize some of what you gained from working in here. And I'm being shown too if there was something that you saw in your meditation that stood out to you, like a color, and I'm being shown I was actually literally shown a flag, but not a red flag in the sense of wording, but a flag of kind of like this is the color that I kept seeing a lot in my meditation, then you can just have that color around you for that day, right? So that way you're kind of bringing that out and making that, bringing the lessons to mind, and so that the work that you're doing in here, you become a more peaceful person out here. So the next rune I got, this is Thorisos. So Thorisos is the thorn. This is anything sharp, and when I see this, this usually means caution or boundaries. And this rune is telling just be careful between when you blur the lines of fantasy and reality. That visualization is good. I know you're trying to manifest, but don't get carried away with it. There are still some practical things that have to be addressed first before you start working on that, and make sure to keep those boundaries firm, right, between what you have to do and then the visualization, the fantasy world that kind of enriches your life. You want to keep those separate. Okay, does that help you, Daily Dose? I can't hear you, Brian. You're muted again.
The NyQuil is getting to me. I should have took DayQuil. That's what I should have done. I know I saw some compliments here for you.
I use I like herbs, I like natural remedies. I don't seem to respond too well to the some over kind of stuff I do great with, some I don't, and I just prefer the plants and meditation. Sometimes yoga, believe it or not, can help. With
I'm ready to become a monk if that would help. Daily Dose, oh my gosh, so spot on. You truly have an amazing gift. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And I have a web page. You can just type in Google Angela Bowley, Psychic Portrait Artist. The first two results you see on Google, you see my web page, and then you'll also see my Facebook page. And if you click on my Facebook page, but you have to do it on Google, you can't go to Facebook to look because of the shadow banning thing. And on my Facebook page, you can leave a comment. You can ask for readings there. You can see what I do. So this is just a small part of what I do. I actually do readings that are more in depth, and I visual, just like the paintings I did. So when a spirit guide comes through, I spend time with your spirit guides, and I paint their messages, and I relay those messages to you. I'll print them out for you. I ship the painting for you. I include a rune reading in there with that, and just put the whole kit and caboodle in shipping and ship it to you. And if you want something more extensive, please let me know. And that's what I do. My main focus is doing this through the artwork. I actually paint what the spirits show me and paint. Sometimes they just take over my hands and take over the painting.
Yeah, she wants to even posted after that to reiterate. I know her, and she's very blunt and very to the point. So seriously, Angela, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, and my paintings are there on my website and my Facebook page, and you can see the painting I'm working on now. And oddly enough, when the spirit guide is coming in from me as a coyote, and he so he's helping me right now, and he actually, and I'll share this experience with you because you may experience on your spiritual journey was when you work with spirit animals. It's just amazing how they come through. He introduced himself in a dream, in a very vivid dream, where I was looking out a window and I was seeing this beautiful hillside, and I saw this dog coming down the hillside. I'm like, well, that's just a little dog out there in the distance. But as the dog came closer, it turned into a fox, and then it turned into a coyote, and he walked right up to me and introduced himself. And then that night, the exterior cameras of the house got a coyote on camera. And then while I was meditating on coyote and on the spiritual gifts and lessons of coyote, on my obelisk, it said, I am the one who guides you. Right? I never get a full sentence of an obelisk. Well, very rarely I get a full sentence. I am the one who guides you. Right? When I'm thinking about coyote and meditating on the coyote's gifts, unique gifts that they're here to teach us. And that was a wonderful confirmation. So you look for that in your own life, because yes, the spirit guides will come through. for you. They're there for you. That's what they're there for.
Crafty. Thank you, Angela. I'm working to find myself, and it seems to be working. Your reading is spot on.
You're
Hey,
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you go ahead and go to my Facebook page. You can follow me there, and I appreciate any likes or any comments or feedback you have. I had over, what did Facebook said? I had over 9,400 people on my page just in the last 30 days.
wow.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
amazed.
for
I'm
those who
amazed.
arrived late, would you mind holding that painting up again?
Mhm. Sure, absolutely. I'll hold
Show
this
that
up.
off. Now, is this for a customer or is it something that just
No,
came to
this
you?
is something I paint because I paint not only just for people that are wanting readings, but also for spirits, and I will paint their messages. So, I'll ask my spirit guides, and sometimes I'll have spirits that will come through and want me to paint them and want me to paint what they want to communicate, independently of anybody asking me. So I go ahead and paint. So you'll see a lot of paintings. And this one, the spirit guide came through and wanted to talk about and show about the ego death. But these are the death of ego, and the French have a word for it, which is why I call it petit l'amour, um, la ego, uh, which is French for the little deaths of ego. I'm learning French, but the concept is well known in French. They said that anytime you go through a difficulty and it beats you down, they called that little deaths, petit l'amour. And what's being shown here is that we build, right? We build our hopes, we build our dreams. We have this, we build cities of fantasy, right? And then along comes something. It could be icy, could be an icy, cold, hard truth that kind of destroys our ego, which just represents this frozen. You see an eye and a nose in here, and you see a skull up here in the background. And now that's in the past, that's in ruins, but that it built our character, and we learned a lesson. And then we break, our world breaks, right? So you have this, and I was just, I had no control over this. I didn't want the circular element, but something took over my hand and said this has to be in here. And you see that it's kind of broken. It kind of looks like a planet. Our world gets broken. A lot of
Yeah.
times our world gets destroyed and we get poured out and we think we're never going to come back from it. But then we do come back, and we come back better, right? We come back a stronger, better character, more spirit, and then more of the spirit world because we had so many lessons and hardships in the material world, and we turn to spirit. Now the spirit world is coming through and helping us. And blue flames, right? We have blue flames, transformation. And the transformation that we go through, we're transforming or transmuting our bad experiences into positive experience. And I use transmutation. It's a term I borrow from alchemy because it's like alchemy, right? You change to a new person. And you have the light and the stars coming through, right? And because the spirit is now fully able to abide in us and we channel this beautiful bright light and we're bright light to others and ourselves, um, we're no longer ego. We are the light. We are the stars. We are the hope.
It's absolutely stunning. What medium is it? Is it oil or
That one is acrylic. So there's two mediums that I work in. If I'm doing a reading, if you come to one of these psychic fairs that I participate in, and you're there, and I typically do a reading in 15 minutes, and I will do a painting in soft pastel, which is like chalk, but it's artist chalk, so it's more concentrated, of course. But if you want something that's more detailed, spend a couple of weeks with your spirit guide, and I'll create a painting. Now the painting will be much larger than this. This is
oh
actually
wow.
small. So this is actually a small painting for me. So this will be larger, and I include an actual report of all the impressions that I'm getting. I do rune readings for each area of your life and print that out, and then I wrap up the whole thing and I ship it out to you and just mail it to you. That way you have it, and you can actually, and I charge it with Reiki energy, so you have healing energy that's being charged into this. So as soon as you grab it, you're getting healing energy, and then you can use this to help. You can communicate with your guides, make that connection, learn the lessons, and receive the message. And I love doing this. I'm glad I've been chosen, and I'm glad the spirits chose me, and I'm glad I've been attuned to this. I passed away and came back, and when I went on the other side and came back, and I remember going through that journey and coming back, my frequency had been changed just to do this. And there's a purpose for it, because the other side, they love it. God loves us. The angels love us, right? They want this for us in heaven. They want to see us striving for the spiritual instead of striving for, they're building, this AI, this artificial spirituality is what they're creating, really, with AI. It's not, it's synthetic, right? Look what they're putting there. You can tell what the people priorities are when they prioritize their spending, and the highest spending around is these AI centers. And you see that the tremendous damage that people, when they try to establish a spiritual connection with a chat bot, and they end up in a psych ward, that's destructive. We need to connect with spirit. That artificial is there to distract us and pull us away. But let's go to spirit, because we have the same abilities that we have a network. We can communicate telepathically. We have abilities to really be in tune with one another and to push our minds and our gifts. And we should be exploring that. Let's explore humanity before we explore the lack thereof, right? Make that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't even touched the surface of what humanity can do.
Chris L., do you have any artistic schooling? Just curious, you have such talent.
Thank you. I did have artistic schooling. In fact, I went to the Art Academy of Cincinnati. Originally intending just to be a commercial artist and graphic designer. I was just going to design labels for cans and perfume bottles and things like that. I wasn't intending to think about doing anything like this. And yes, so I went to the Art Academy of Cincinnati, and I didn't realize it then, but some of the things that I was creating was direct from spirit, and sometimes it would just channel on through, and it would be completely different from what they were trying to teach us. Because spirit would say one thing, and then the teacher would want to say, "We're going to learn about perspective today," and then spirit would come through, and I had a Chinese artist come through me and created this beautiful. In perspective, these Chinese characters, I didn't even know what they were, and they came through, and then like, how do you know Chinese? And I know Chinese. I don't know Mandarin. Honest, I don't. But I didn't realize it then that was what was happening. So all these imageries would come through, and I was warned while I was going through school. Spirit would come to me and say, "Do not plan any paintings out. Don't plan any paintings. Just let it channel, just let it come through." And so I started doing more of that. And when I got into painting portraits and first not working from the spiritual side or psychic side, I would pick up the impressions from the subject matter. So somebody would have me do a dog portrait or a cat portrait, and I would get impressions off of their pets' personality, their habits, and I would pass it on to them as I finished the portrait and hand it to them. And like, "Wow, you're spot on. That's exactly what he's like." And one of the ones that I did, and I thank God for this, a man approached me in the park, and I was just sketching there in the park. I wasn't doing anything special, not selling anything, just sketching. He came to he says, I need somebody, and I felt drawn to you. I felt like I need to ask you to paint the portrait of my brother who just died. He needs a memorial portrait, and I was told I need to reach out to you. And he did, and I connected very strongly with his brother. I felt the gunshot. He was robbed over some, $5, and shot in the chest. I could feel his brother's personality. They felt everybody's sorrow and how much loss, and I was just crying. I just could hardly get through the painting, and I found I couldn't even touch the photo because the feelings I were getting were so strong. And so I had to put the photo kind of away from me and cover it, and then do the portrait. And then when I finished that and I handed it to him, and he was just so amazed at how well the portrait came out. And he says, I never had any, I said, I never had any real good images of my brother photographs over the years, but this is one and I'll definitely treasure because he captured him so completely, his likeness, his energy, his everything. He was a very wonderful human being. Absolutely. And that kind of sent me on that path to what I'm doing now.
Absolutely amazing and gifted, that's for sure. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions in chat, so we're hitting that time anyway.
Yeah, we definitely are. And
it flew by for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Be sure to check out my Facebook page and my events, and reach out to me. You can just post a comment on my Facebook page. I'll be more than happy to reply to you.
Yep. Let everybody know where you're at for sure, so all the audio ones can tell too. So, all right, everybody, reach out to Angela. For anybody who couldn't see the pictures because you're audio only, I encourage you to jump on YouTube.
Brian, your sound went out.
Oh man, and I'm not muted, I promise. Is it still there now?
Now your sound's back, yes.
Okay. So anybody who couldn't see her picture, please reach out to her Facebook page. Hopefully she's got pictures up there. If not, jump on YouTube, watch this, and after seeing the artwork tonight, you'll want to reach out to Angela. So, and prayers to Justin Decker. Yeah. And with that, from coast to coast and around the world, everybody have a fantastic night. And Angela, thank you for putting up with me and my antics tonight. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad working with you.
Hope you have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.